3, 2, 1, go. Greetings, family. Welcome to another one of your Frank 26 UB2Bs. It's good to be with you. It is the 15th of June, 2021, and I greet you in agape love. We are KTFalways.com, and it's good to be with you. Tonight we have our infomercial with Youngevity. Family, Dr. Randy's with us tonight. Take advantage of that. Listen carefully to the things that she wants to tell you. And if you have any questions at the end, we'll be glad to open it up for you. Take advantage of Dr. Randy. She's brilliant. She's polite. She's our sister in Christ. But she's also been, in my opinion, very successful with Youngevity products. In fact, when we're done tonight, I have a personal testimony that I'd like to share with you when Dr. Randy's done with you about Youngevity products. I want you to hear it from my heart. So let's, without further ado, let's get started and bring in Dr. Randy, and she's going to spend the next few moments talking to you about Youngevity products. And if you have any questions at the end, we'll see if we can cover them. Okay, Dr. Randy, are you there?
I'm here, and thank you so much. What a beautiful, warm welcome. Thank you.
Oh, indeed, you deserve it. The floor is yours.
Well, I have to say you're looking mighty fine tonight.
Thank you. Thank you.
I love always your suits. You're looking great. Very healthy, actually.
Indeed, indeed. And I'll tell you something, Youngevity has an awful lot to do with that.
Outstanding. I love to hear that. Well, I know we definitely put you on a phenomenal protocol. So, I'm hounding you. I still need those updated photos.
I know, how true. I'm so sorry. It's just that, yeah, it's hard for me to remember everything. But yes, ma'am, I will work on sending those to you.
Outstanding. Thank you. Well, now it's on video, so it's there forever.
You got me. Touche.
I love it. Well, for those of you listeners that don't know me, because I'm sure there's some that come out on a Tuesday night that have not heard me on the Monday night calls. I am naturopathic Dr. Randy Shannon. I'm in Miami, Florida. I do travel around the country and lecture. Back in 2019, I lectured a lot. And I actually really had a lot of fun with my lectures because I'm very interactive. And I do something unique that hardly anybody is doing. I mean, if you go to China or Japan, you might see this done more. Or if you go to an acupuncturist, they will do it a little bit. And what is that little bit? Well, if you go to the acupuncturist, they might say stick out your tongue, and they're going to look for a little bit of heat, is what they say, like warm spots, red spots. They look for moisture or dryness and different things, and then they'll give you some acupuncture based on basically what you tell them that you actually came in there for, and they might, give you some herbs or things. Well, I take a whole nother approach to it, and I take it at a level I have never met anybody that takes it to the level that I do. And I specialize in the face, tongue, and nail analysis. I'm one of those naturopathic doctors that doesn't believe that the so-called 800 incurables are actually incurable. I actually believe that most everything is reversible. And I also believe that nothing is genetic. If you have heart disease today and your father or your mother or your brother or sister died of it, that does not make it hereditary. It's something that you're personally doing. They may have done all the things wrong and you're doing all the things wrong. And that's what I'm here for, is to help everybody clean those things up and to kind of fix those misnomers and get you back on track. Okay, so when I say I specialize in the face, tongue, and nail analysis, what does that mean? Well, I look at, let's say the nails, for example. I look at the shape. I look at the growth. I listen to your story of telling me what's going on with it. I look for color changes. There's something called lunulae. I look for that. Specifically, for example, the thumbs. You take both your hands, the left and right. And if each one of the thumbs have vertical ridges from cuticle to tip, but no other fingernail has that, then that is your spleen. There's really no other way around it. It's your spleen and spleen only. There's other kinds of ridges. There's There's white lines. They kind of look they look ridgy and they're white. I can spot it in a New York second. There's a certain look. And if you have osteoporosis, it will show spot on in your fingernails. And, a lot of people will say, well, my wife fell down and broke her hip. No, it wasn't like that. The hip broke and then she fell down. And it showed long before in the fingernails. So a lot of people think osteoporosis isn't reversible. Absolutely it is. So the body is just starving. And it's showing out in signs like that on the fingernails. It's called beads on a string. That's like the actual term for it, beads on a string. But I look for ridges, bumps, spots, other markings on the nails. I look at the condition of the nails. I look at the tongue. I look at the vitality of it. I look at, if it's live in person, I see the movement. And actually, a lot of your photos that have come to me are live photos, so I see the movement actually as you're sticking it out. It's kind of funny to think about, but there is certain things to that. If it's very shaky when you stick it out, that actually means something. If you're having a hard time just holding it there, that actually does mean something. I'm looking at the moisture. I'm looking if it's dry or not. I look at the tongue color. I look at the coating on the tongue. The colors can be white, yellow, brown, and I've even seen black on some of the tongues. Every coating change means something. The shape, the size, the length. There's something called a hammer-shaped tongue. And it literally does look like a hammer shape. So that's not normal. Okay? None of those things that I said, like the color changes, the dryness, or the super moist, or a glassy look where it's real smooth, none of that is normal. The tongue on the top and the bottom should be fleshy colored. When we're looking at the bottom, there's veins, capillaries, etc. there, and that should also be, Frank, it should also be fleshy colored. But if I see those veins in blue, purple, or black, we've got troubles. So I know every one of you should have your mirrors out right now. And as I'm talking about these things, you should be looking in the mirror and seeing what's going on with your tongue. And if there is something, you definitely need to get an appointment scheduled by me. And what I do is an analysis. For Frank's listeners alone, I do that tongue analysis for total free. Normally, if you are anywhere else in the world, this is specific to Frank's people only, to your listeners, it's $150 to walk in my door just for that. I spend a significant amount of time with you, and I look at that. I'll look at the pictures, and then we go over that. For Frank, totally free. Even if you don't follow the protocol or any of the advice that I suggest, doesn't matter. I still do that for you. And if you do decide to go with it, I'm very aggressive in my protocols. Everything is 90 to 120 days. That's what we're looking for reversals in turning the body around. And what do I mean by that? Well, the body will always fight for you. That's its job, is to keep you and to keep your vital organs alive. And so when it doesn't have what it needs, it will rob Peter to pay Paul. What does that mean? Well, if you have hair loss, if your nails are cracking continually and very weak, if your hair goes gray early, if you have no color in it at all, even if you're 70, 80, or 90 and you have no color at all, that is a mineral deficiency. And so you've got to get that back on track. And then I also look at the face. Believe it or not, the face is amazing in the stories that it will tell. For example, on the nose. Yes, and I'm going to try and zoom in on you, Frank, while it's not working on this computer. If I look at the face, I can see the spleen, the liver, the pancreas, the stomach. Okay, I'm looking, Frank. Okay, so I can see, believe it or not, even reproductive system shows on the lower part of the face, the large intestines, the lungs, underneath of the eyes. Discoloration is typically liver. If there's puffiness, it's typically the kidney. It can be food intolerances. The adrenals, we can see when your adrenals are exhausted. Small intestine, bladder, heart, all of those show in the face. And so again, when I'm doing this full face tongue analysis, when I'm looking at the nails, when I'm looking at the face and looking at the tongue, if I see something in the tongue and you didn't do the full analysis, I'm always wishing that you did, because I have double, triple confirmations when I'm looking at the nails and when I'm looking at the face. For example, on the tongue in general, if I see that there's a spleen issue or a liver issue, I immediately want to go to the face and look to see if there's a spleen or issue right there. It shows typically just above the nose, in between the eyebrows, and I'm looking for specific lines that show up. Some kind of vertical or a little bit diagonal, and one that just goes straight up the center of your nose, above the top bridge of your nose, in between the eyes. You are showing, actually, Frank, let me see if I can get this to zoom. Hold on. Okay, go up close. Okay. If you don't have a scar right in between, it could be spleen, actually. No, it does look like it's off to the side when you move a little bit. And you pop a little bit for the pancreas, which is across the top bridge of your nose, and it's more horizontal. Okay. Otherwise, you're looking pretty good. Maybe a little bit of liver support is needed, because I can see that in the discoloration under the eyes. So we want to make sure that we make sure that's in your protocol if it's not already. So with that, you guys, that's why it's very important to get the baseline full analysis, and then I can see all of the organs. And then what I do is I go through a protocol that's very specific for you. And in that protocol, I'm addressing the issues that I see, and that's why I'm looking to have a turnaround of 90 to 120 days, okay? And how does that happen? Because what we do is we give the body exactly what it needs, and from there, we are watching things go in reverse. What do I mean by that? Well, let's say your hormones are out of balance, okay? When the hormones are out of balance, they look like little strawberry seeds on the top of the tongue. And so there will be something very specific in your protocol for that. And you can tell if it's working or not working, because those little strawberry seeds will back off and then eventually completely disappear. And the goal is in that 90 to 120 days. If you have a diabetic problem, high blood pressure, low blood pressure, those also, type 2 diabetics, with the high and the low blood pressure, those are 90 days or less to reverse that, okay? And blood pressure issues as well, like I said in there. And so these things, a lot of you have been medicated for 30, 40, 50 years, metformin, et cetera. These are things that you're on. Those are just really Band-Aids. Nobody's getting better. If you weren't actually getting better, then you wouldn't still be on it. Make sense? Okay, then take the people that are needing hip replacements, knee replacements, things like that, torn librums. They really are just having weaknesses in the bones, joints, capillaries, tendons, ligaments, etc. And what Frank's actually showing you, for those that are watching, are some of the products that will actually be a part of turning the body back on, supporting and promoting the body's own immune system. So it turns back on and goes, oh my gosh, look, I've got what I need. Now, guess what? I'm going to go regrow the cartilage. And we did an experiment with this. And in 30 days, all of the people that were bone on bone, needed surgery, were absolutely pain-free. Now, there's some dietary changes as well, so I'm going to go over that. But can you imagine being pain-free? Now, it's not skating in and going, Dr. Randy, I can't do everything. I can't get it all at once. That I understand. So don't hold me to 90 to 120 days. You got to give me a little leniency as well if it's not in the budget to do the whole thing. So it takes a little bit longer, but at least you're working on it. So what Frank is actually showing you there, and that's a great page to hold up. If you see that, those are all different packs that were formulated specifically by Dr. Joel Wallach. By the way, he's a living legend, 82 years old, just had a birthday this last week. He actually wrote the book, Dead Doctors Don't Lie, which is the #1 best-selling book next to the Holy Bible. It's been in multiple countries. I think it's pretty much every country around the world, and it's in 9-10 different languages. And so what he did is he formulated these packs to target these very specific issues. So it makes it super easy for you or anybody else to know exactly which pack to go on. Now, when I do the analysis, I see other things that are needed, okay, on top of the packs. But these are very, very targeted. They were built around the body, based on the body's needs. Dr. Joel Wallach was a veterinarian first. For those of you that are old enough to remember, he worked with Marlin Perkins of Wild Kingdom. And he was a veterinarian first, and he was curing basically everything in all of the animals. All the bears and all the zoos were dying. And he got picked up by Marlin Perkins at the airport. Marlin Perkins tells him the story about all the zoo bears dying, and he said, "Oh, well, just do this." And he had the cure, literally the cure, in a 15-minute car ride for all the bears, and it saved all the bears across, the country that were all dying. And it was based on what was in their diet. So the body needs this, not drugs. Drugs don't heal anything. They might mask it, but they're not healing it. The body needs literal 90 to 91 essential nutrients every single day, even if all you are is a couch potato. If you're athletic, then you need even more because you're sweating out everything that you had just put in. So imagine if you've been an athlete all of your life and you just sweat it out and sweat it out and sweat it out. We hear about these people that drop dead at 40 and 50, even top cardiology doctors that are to the stars, to all the athletes where they've got everything at their disposal. They die sooner than anybody who's on Youngevity packs that is taking what they need for being an athlete or their cardiovascular system. So, as a naturopathic doctor, I had to hang my hat somewhere because I'm all about nutrition. And after I got out of school, I went and worked all over this country with various doctors. I worked with a doctor of acupuncture, and he was very targeted in Chinese herbals only. And I saw his clients coming in, while he would give them temporary relief, they were not getting healed. And they would then, a couple days later, be in the same pain and agony they were in when they came in, just days before. There wasn't a true answer. Chinese herbals are not enough. You need vitamins, minerals, and essential fatty acids. And what I hung my hat on was the only company in the entire world that literally has this formulation, because Dr. Wallach owns the mines. They own the mineral mines. So this is 5,000-year-old plants and minerals that are coming out of the ground. And you know what? I wanted to describe a few things. And even Frank, I don't know if you are aware of this, but the integrity of the product is everything. The formulation of the product is everything. And cutting corners is not even on the radar screen. Another reason why I could not put my hat with any other company when it comes to these minerals and the formulations. If you come to me with a heart issue, a liver issue, a cancer issue, blood sugar issues, high, low blood pressure, diabetics, etc., needing bones, joints, cartilage, ligaments, all of these things rebuilt, this is the place to be, because I know the formulations in my sleep. And again, I have looked at so many of the companies out there. Everybody is trying to recruit me for basically because of what I do and because I get results for my clients. So let me give you a couple of examples about the integrity of this company. For example, Dr. Wallach, selenium is out there. You can go to Walgreens and buy selenium. Okay, but the selenium that's on the shelf, it might say it's a measurement of 100 micrograms. Well, 100 micrograms, if it came out of China or some company who's only about the bottom dollar, it might have 40% selenium, and then the filler is yeast. So if you have cancer, the last thing you want to be putting in the body is yeast. Okay, so that's a bad product. That is not good. But yet selenium is very high in my protocol for people that are battling issues like that. So my own father is a living example of somebody who had cancer. And I asked my father, hey, Dad, do you want to live? Are you willing to fight? And he said yes. So he's still old school. He still believes in the white coats and the medical doctors. He believed that they would save his life. Even though his daughter is a naturopathic doctor, sometimes you can't be how does the Bible say it, Frank? You're not a prophet in your own backyard.
Yeah, not welcome. Yeah.
Exactly. So we put my father on a very aggressive protocol. He had kidney cancer, his right kidney.
You put me on heavy doses of selenium.
Yes, yes. And if I had cancer, fibroids, cysts, tumors, I would do the same exact thing to myself. And as it is, I already do take a lot because I want to be very preventative. But let me tell you, I'm going to tell you about my father, and I'm also going to tell you about the selenium. Dr. Wallach formulated this selenium. Now, selenium comes out of the ground. So if you're, say, living in Miami where I'm at, there is no selenium in the ground. Okay, so if I grow a head of lettuce here, it's not going to have anything good in it. Okay, but if I grow, it might have other things in it, but it's not going to have selenium. But if I grow a head of lettuce in Minnesota, say, or Wisconsin, where selenium is in abundance in the ground, that selenium is going to grow up and have that nutrient in it. Amazing. But how many of us buy our heads of lettuce out of those two states? Probably not too many. So that's why we're not getting these nutrients in the food. So you have to supplement. If, I'm a Viking, I'm Norwegian, Swedish. So my heritage, we came from way back and ate foods from basically all over the world. And they probably weren't too deficient because they were getting such a variety and lots of fish, etc. But the selenium that Dr. Wallach formulated is not just selenium. Let me tell you, when he says it's 100 micrograms, it is. There's no fillers, no synthetics. The other thing is he put 5 cofactors in the selenium capsule. So why would he do that? Because in his studies, he found that selenium with these 5 cofactors is not just selenium in the body. It is a massive, amazing explosion of wonderfulness in the body. So that selenium that we have, that you're using, Frank, that I take every day, that selenium is unlike no other. And I'm going to explain also the essential fatty acids, for example, the EFAs. We have one that comes from a fish liver and one that comes from a seed. The fish comes out of the cold Icelandic waters. Very important. So, there's a lot less pollutions and things going on in those waters. These guys, when they fish those fish, they are immediately flash frozen. And then these guys go down into nitrogen tanks in dive suits. They literally spray nitrogen into the canister that the fish oil is going to go into. That fish oil, like all oils, cannot be exposed to oxygen. When it is, it oxidizes and it becomes rancid and rotten. It may not look it, it may not taste it, but it is. So the fish oil from Youngevity never, ever, ever is exposed to oxygen, making it some of the purest, cleanest fish oil you could ever take. And that is the only fish oil I will ever allow in my body. I have tested this personally and bought other fish oils off of the market shelf. And what happens, and it happened to me, and it showed in several pictures, you will get brown spots. They can show up on your face, they can show up on your arms because you are eating rancid oil. And a lot of times these medical doctors will prescribe fish oil or essential fatty acids or EFA to their patients, and it's rancid. It's rotten. So it's terrible. Also, rancid and rotten and having been exposed to oxygen causes oxidative stress in the body. So you're going to get blockages is basically what's going to happen. So when I took the bad fish oil, it showed up in brown spots all over my arms. So, I thought, might as well try it and test it and put myself to my own word on it. So my father, he had kidney cancer, right kidney. We put him on a very, very aggressive protocol, my mom and I. he was very well aware of most of it. He was adamant about taking Metamucil every single day, so we spiked his Metamucil. Now, that was my mother and I, okay? So nobody can get me in trouble for this. But we put a lot of selenium in his Metamucil, and we put a lot more of the mineral in there. So Metamucil is orange, and the mineral was orange. It was perfect. So we mixed it all up, and every day, every morning, he was going to get his Metamucil drink, and he was really getting a lot of amazing things. So now comes the day for surgery. And the doctor comes out and he gives the whole family the update on my father's progress. And, he's fine, he's in recovery, blah, blah, blah. And then he turns to me and he says, Dr. Randy, there was something different about your father's surgery. Now, this is a University of Iowa surgeon specializing in the laparoscopic surgery to remove these cancers and cysts and tumors, et cetera, on these organs. And he turns to me and he says, normally, when we take a part of the organ out or the organ out, it's very diseased looking. It's got lesions all over it. It's in bad, bad shape. Your father's was in perfect condition. Now, keep in mind, I had only 30 days from the time we put my dad on the high dosing to the time his surgery came. And the last 7 of those days, we took him off of everything because it thins the blood so the way it should have been thin, prior to a surgery, the way it should be every day as we're walking through life. And so it can cause bleeds. So we had to pull him off everything about 7 days prior. So he said, your father's was in perfect condition. And he said, you saw the cancer up on the screen. I said, yes. And he said, we were going to take 50 to 100% of your father's right kidney. I said, yes. And he said, we only needed 10%. So in that short amount of time, his cancer had backtracked so far that they only needed 10%. And then, of course, they always take a little bit of extra. They want to get extra cells on both sides. So they took 12% of my father's right kidney. Now, had my father waited and given me 60 days, I don't think he would have even needed the surgery. Okay?
Amen.
Yeah, exactly. So fibroids are another one that gynecologists, OBGYNs love to, it's a minor surgery, but they love to pull those out. Typically, we have a protocol for that. I won't, say the exact, but of course, selenium is a huge part of that. And fibroids can be reversed, typically in 90 days, 120 days, no surgery necessary. Okay. So that's another one. Thyroids, that's a biggie that a lot of doctors like to take out. What they don't tell the patient is it probably was a digestive disorder to start. And that caused weakness. There's lack of absorption. So the thyroid's not getting the nutrients that it needs through that process, or just period. The body's probably not getting what it needs, which typically the food for the thyroid is iodine, crazy seaweeds, the Himalayan salts, things like that. And so they'll take the thyroid out and put somebody on Synthroid for the rest of their life. And then their thyroid's no longer going to create the 2 very specific hormones that it creates. And the whole thing could have been avoided just by feeding the thyroid what it needed and changing the diet up. Okay. Gallbladder, another one, huge one. I had a very, very good friend die from complications to the gallbladder surgery just a couple of years ago. And it was a dietary change. All she needed to do was change the diet, and the gallbladder would have settled right down. When you have a gallbladder surgery, most of the doctors don't tell their patients that they have to, for life, take digestive enzymes prior to every meal for the rest of their life. They don't tell their patients that. So if you've had a thyroid taken out, you need to come to us, because we have a very specialized enzyme that has, it's kind of gross to think about it, but it has real ox bile in it, and that's actually very important when you don't have a gallbladder. And really, there should be dietary changes. So, those are a few of those things. It's, and it all starts with eating the right things as well. Now, I just told you that the foods may not have all the nutrients in it, But you don't want to eat the foods that have the pesticides. And there are certain foods that are really causing your bodies to be in terrible shape. No wheat, barley, rye, or oats ever again for the rest of your life. They go through the body system like a wrecking ball. And then when they get to the small intestine, we have trillions of grass-like structures that are called villi. And those get mowed down, absolutely mowed down. Now, a lot of you would be crying if I told you that they never grow back and we're just like all going to die. Okay. But that's not the case. Thank God they grow back. But it takes anywhere between 10, 12, 14 days for them to start to grow back. Those villi are responsible for the pulling in of your nutrients. And if you don't have villi, all you will pull in is calories. So what's the number one reason for obesity in this country? The fact that you all are eating wheat, barley, rye, and oats, and it's wiping out the villi in your systems. We have keto packs. We have weight loss packs, digestive packs, blood sugar, athletic packs, thyroid packs, reversing aging packs, cardio packs. We have something called our Biomedics line, which is all liquid nutrition. So let's say you have a hard time with pills. Then we go the Biomedics line because we can get you everything that Dr. Wallach has formulated, very specific to your issue, and it's all liquid. So what would you do? You make a bunch of smoothies. If you have macular degeneration and you want to get back to 20/20 vision, it's typically a 90 to 120 day protocol, and you should be back to that 20/20 vision. But you got to do the dietary part of it as well. Now, just on a fun note, Frank, I always get asked, well, what can I eat? What should I eat? Well, first of all, you have to supplement. So Frank's showing you on the YouTube tons and tons of pictures of all the various products that are offered that you can get through me, through our toll-free line. And every order that goes in, Frank gets a little bit of credit for that, and it actually is helping him with his fight. So it helps support the show, which is very important because he puts a lot of time and effort into the show. So 1-800-392-0855, 1-800-392-0855. That's the number you call. If you want to get a tongue analysis, totally free. We also get you the good and bad food list and actually a couple of videos which explain why no oils ever. We explain why no wheat, barley, rye, and oats. By the way, 10, 12, 14 days is when they start to grow back. It takes months of eating clean for them to fully grow back. So if you have obesity of any kind, any size, shape you are, it's going to take months to get you back on track. However, your life can be back. You can have your life back. Okay, so on a side note, Frank, everybody always wants to know, what does Dr. Randy eat? So today, I had a really busy day. I actually worked until like 5 a.m. this morning. There was a little bit of playtime in there up with one of my kids on the West Coast, talking to him on the computer. But then I got back and was working. But, I get asked this question. I see it all the time. Dr. Randy, what do you eat? So today I ate late, and I had a gluten-free pizza. And it was made from a sweet potato crust. So I eat more like an Asian. Lots of rice, sweet potatoes, lots of lemon juice, lots of eggs. I eat 2 to 3 eggs every single day, sometimes twice daily. And they have to have a runny yolk, and you cannot cook them on a high heat because it's no wheat, barley, rye, and oats ever again for the rest of your life. But it's also no fried foods because they are carcinogenic. All fried foods are carcinogenic. What does carcinogenic mean? Cancer causing. So even if you take an egg and you cook it on a high heat in butter, it's becoming carcinogenic. So no fried foods ever. No foods cooked in any oils. No oils, no oils, no oils. Why? Well, if you call the toll-free number, we'll send you the video that says why no oils ever. 1-800-392-0855. And no processed meats. So I want you to eat all the fruits and vegetables your heart desires. If you want to lose weight, don't eat your carbs at night. Eat rice for breakfast. Eat it for lunch. You'll burn that off if you're active during the day. But if you eat it at night, it will turn to sugar and therefore fat. So just avoid having it at night. When you do our protocols, I wake up every morning and I have a smoothie and I throw a banana in it. I do a water base because I like to keep my weight down and I like to stay trim. And I throw in all of my powders and a lot of my nutrients. And I'll also, take all of my extra pills that I can't put in a smoothie. I'll take those at that time. So I start every single day reversing the aging clock. And I make sure that I'm on track to have my energy to fuel myself throughout the day. And then I sprinkle goodness all throughout the day. And some people will say, well, man, I can't think about taking it at lunch. I can't think about, doing it again at dinner. Well, you know what? Everybody's got to prioritize. To me, things don't matter if I don't have my health. So you have to have your health, and then everything else will fall into check. If you don't have your health right now, you absolutely need to be reaching out and getting yourself scheduled. The first step, again, is to get rid of the bad foods and then do an analysis, whether it's the full analysis where you're doing face, tongue, nails, neck. I want to see the hairline. If you don't have color in your hair, or if you have varicose veins or hemorrhoids, which are just varicose veins in a funny spot, then you are deficient. If you have blood sugar issues or any of the other things that I mentioned, you are deficient. If you've been on drugs for 30, 40, 50 years, some of you, what are you doing? What is your MD doing? I hear all the time, oh, I really like my doctor. Well, you must like him a lot because you're putting his kids through college. You're giving him retirement. How's your finances? So, do you really like him that much? How about liking yourself, liking your kids, your grandkids, and your future and your retirement? And let's get you healthy. It's just such a better way of life. And I think I pretty much covered everything, except I didn't give you guys the website. If you want to schedule the full analysis, you go to The Body Can, C-A-N, as in the body can heal itself, thebodycan.com/schedule. Super easy. You go there and you schedule the 60-minute appointment. And John Mills, who works with me, he up in West Palm Beach area, he will actually get your phone call. He will call you back and he'll tell you what it is I need, where to send it, and he will get you on the phone with me. And there's the information. Frank has it up right on his site, frank26.youngevity.com. If you don't want to come to me, that's where you go and you just order straight out, okay? And my number, 1-800-392-0855. If you want to talk to the doctor direct, then we do the analysis, and then we get you set up with a very specific protocol. We have some amazing things. These are the only things that I will hang my hat on. My own sons are on it. I have 4 sons, and every single one of them takes the protocols. In fact, Dr. Wallach was a veterinarian first, and one of the dogs had a thyroid issue, and she was lethargic, no energy. My son was out in California and took her to the vet, and they said, oh, she has a thyroid. I said, okay, this is exactly what we need. I talked to Dr. Wallach. We put her on a very specific protocol. Within literal hours, she got up, started to be active again. And guess what, you guys? It's the same for people. We're stronger. We have more smarts. It's just, are you going to use them to get yourself healthy? Okay? And that's it. That's really about it in a nutshell. I wanted to give you one more thing, Frank. They always want to know, well, Dr. Randy, you're telling us we can't have our salad dressings because I tell them to throw them in the trash because they're full of oils. So my salad dressing is just literally organic lemon juice. I'll carve up an avocado. I'll carve up a tomato. I put in plenty of sea salt and pepper, mix that all up. It's so delicious. And then I'll put that on the salad or the salad and rice. I even put it on the eggs, and it's absolutely delicious. And the great thing is when you eat like that, when you eat clean, it goes through your system much quicker. I had a client, I don't know if it was from your call or one of my other clients, that said that they had one bowel movement a day and that they were taking stool softeners. And I said, okay, wow, we definitely have to deal with this because that's not normal to just have one bowel movement a day. You need to be having more because if you were eating clean foods and you're absorbing all these good things, can you imagine those toxins are just sitting in your body? Yes, that's true, Frank. 3 to 5. So those toxins are just sitting in your body and like absorbing in. There's a clinic called the Gerson Clinic, and they do a lot of carrot juicing. And if the person comes to them so sick they cannot put the carrot juice in the mouth, guess where they go? The other end. Okay. And why do they do that? Because that skin is so thin that it absorbs immediately, and they're getting at least some benefits from that carrot juice. So the point is, if you've got the toxins sitting in there, imagine the opposite. No good at all. So get cleaned up, you guys. Get on track. Reach out to me. Frank, thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to come on here and speak, giving me a half an hour. And I just appreciate you so much, and your listeners, because you are all good people and you've all been very good to me. And I appreciate your patience and the fact that I'm not perfect. And sometimes I do drop the ball here and there, but my heart's in the right spot. And I do care about every single one of you. And as I put a protocol together for you, I look at that protocol as if, is this what I would take myself? And I put you on protocols or suggest protocols for you that I would do myself personally or give to my own sons, which of course, those 4 boys are the most important people in my whole entire life. So God bless you all. Thank you, Frank. Did you have any questions or anything you wanted? Oh, you had something. You had a testimonial or something.
Well, first of all, let's just look at some of the quick questions that we have here. Somebody wants to know, where can I get that catalog that you were showing, Frank?
Okay, so they just need to call that 800 number, and John will call them back and help to get them set up to get that. 1-800-392-0855.
Toy VP wants to know, what about hard-boiled eggs?
No, that's a great question. Thank you, because I really did mean to talk about that. Eggs have to be soft cooked, soft scrambled, soft cooked, soft poached. If they're hard boiled, you will see a blue or purple line that goes around that yolk. That was the good cholesterol, and you cooked it off, meaning you killed it. And the brain needs good cholesterol. Your male and female anatomy are mostly made up of cholesterol. You know, the doctors would have you say, oh my gosh, cholesterol is all bad. No, a lot of parts in our body are made up of it and need it. So it comes off of the runny yolk. Keep it runny. Keep it soft.
What about diverticulitis? Can you help somebody with that?
100%, yes. Mainly that's going to be dietary issues. Okay, so we've got to clean up the diet. Number one. If they failed on everything else, no wheat, barley, rye, and oats. That's where it's going to start. That's the problem right there. But then they have incredible damage that has to be healed. And there has to be supplementation, and the villi has to grow back. Has to.
Patty's asking, well, how does this apply to prostate cancer? And Patty, if you re-listen to this UB2B, you'll hear Dr. Randy give her testimony about her father-in-law that went through prostate cancer. Is that correct, Dr. Randy?
He had kidney cancer, but I have plenty of prostate cancer clients for years now. I've had them.
Yeah.
And nobody ever actually dies of prostate cancer. Nobody. What happens is they'll die from other things that the doctors are giving them. But what we do is we get all the numbers in check, okay? Starts with the diet, number one, and then the body is super deficient to have even gotten in that condition to begin with. And so we give the body exactly what the prostate needs. It's very similar to even what somebody gets for ED, erectile dysfunction. Might as well talk about it. I mean, the body is incredibly deficient, and we feed the deficiencies. And then the body goes, thank you. Now I can turn on. Now I can heal myself. Now I can fight that battle. And it will do that. It's its job to live.
Are the products kosher certified?
I don't know that they have an actual kosher certification.
Yeah, I don't see the K symbol on them either, so I don't think they are.
Yeah, but they are organic, non-genetically modified.
Good.
No synthetics, no fillers.
How about COPD, chronic obstructive pulmonary disease?
We have a protocol.
I agree. I know you do. Let's see here. Let's see if there's any other questions. I'm scrolling back up because I told everybody if you have questions, put them on there. Do
Oh,
we
good.
just call for the tongue analysis? The answer is yes. And as I keep going back,
And
the,
by the way, I believe COPD is reversible. So remember, anything you're asking about, I believe it's reversible. We see, and you would not believe some of the testimonials we have. Unbelievable.
I don't know if you know, Dr. Randy. I don't know if I ever told you. I have a background in biology and I'm a respiratory therapist.
Yeah, I think you did say about the respiratory therapy.
My son and his wife are both physical therapists, and our daughter's in sports medicine. So we're all medically oriented. When we get sick, we just call each other.
Or the Dr. Randy.
Yes, ma'am. And that's about. Do the supplements help bone and cartilage have?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. In fact,
Do they
I'm
want? They
very
want to know. They
excellent.
want to know. Does it have I think they're saying sulfur because she's allergic.
Some may. We would just have to look at
Yeah.
particular ones. Yeah.
Okay.
We would have to look at particular ones. And by the way, I'm very athletic myself. Very athletic. I ran the Miami Marathon in 2015. I have done something called Ragbri, which is in the state of Iowa, 3 times, where in 6 days you're biking across the whole entire state. It's very brutal.
Wow.
You're sleeping on the ground. I mean, it's primitive. And
I ran away from a marathon. Does that count?
I've run away from them ever since. I'll never do them again. But yeah.
Well,
And I have no issues, is my point.
well, I'll tell you what, ladies and gentlemen, I can see that most of your questions, like you're asking about MS, you're asking about cancer, you're asking about. In fact, we have a very dear friend of ours. I believe she's with us right now, listening, and they just told her a couple last week that she has leukemia. Leukemia. And I don't know if there's any protocols that you can help her with, but
Yes. Yep.
wow.
We have leukemia protocols, and someone that you and I mutually know's sister has leukemia and has been in remission for I don't know, I want to say 6 to 10 years.
Well, if you're listening, dear sister from Hawaii, please, you should call Dr. Randy. I know that they've already given you a protocol, but this is a naturopathic way, and that's what you're all about. So if you're interested, just to talk to Dr. Randy, I think would be a very good thing for you. Mr.
Yes.
Don is asking, Frank, what about pulmonary fibrosis? Well, Mr. Don, that's basically the same thing. Any type of lung issue, Dr. Randy will be able to help you without a doubt. Your pulmonary fibrosis is probably because scar tissue, smoking, hazard environment. So, yeah, that definitely can be reversed, and your tidal volume can increase as well, too. Well, Dr. Randy, I want to tell you my little testimony, okay?
Okay.
Well, it turns out that last month, at the beginning of last month, I called you and I said that my aunt, who takes care of my father with my sister at my sister's home, she has macular degeneration in one eye, and the other eye, she has bad cataracts, and she was losing her vision. The one with
Yes.
macular degeneration is pretty bad, very bad. And the other one, well, she went to the doctor yesterday, and as soon as they got out of there, my sister called me and she says, Frank, the stuff that you gave Lucy, it may be helping. And I said, why? Well, they said that the macular degeneration is still there, but the other eye has improved. She has 20/30 vision in it.
Outstanding.
So the tunnel vision is a little bit more, the peripheral vision is a little bit better. And that's just 1 month. So this is her second month, and then next month will be her third. And I really believe that the story that you and the other doctor, the other gentleman, told that I think it was 25 patients that some doctors said, nope, I'm sorry, you're losing your vision, macular degeneration, there's nothing we can do for you. And
They were all legally blind.
yeah, go ahead and tell that story, and then we'll finish this up.
Okay. It was 27 people, and they were all diagnosed by a doctor legally blind. Okay. And the doctor had zero hope for them to ever get their vision back. And 25 of them went on, all 27 went on our protocol, and 25 of them, after 90 days, had a 20/20 vision back, and the remaining 2 needed a couple of extra weeks. And they also, so all 27 legally blind macular degeneration went to a 20/20 vision in a little over 90 days. So can it be reversed? Yes, we saw it in 27 legally blind people. Now, there's plenty of people taking the protocol, that we don't know about, that have reversed their vision to the 20/20. So if you basically want to get rid of the readers, then you go on this protocol. And it's not terribly expensive, but really, what price do you put on your vision? I mean, it's priceless to be able to see. It's priceless. So, to me, worth every penny to not lose these eyes. I read, I write, I do everything with my eyes. And I can see my sons, the people I love. I definitely don't want to give up my eyes.
Amen. Dr. Randy, I want to thank you. These are amazing products. And this catalog that I showed them, I mean, that's just some of the products. If you're interested in talking to Dr. Randy, we showed you the phone numbers. And I'd also encourage you that you can get a hold of us. My name is Frank. My phone number is 419-283-2552. And we will make you an appointment with Dr. Randy so that you can have consultation. And then she'll give you the protocol and you make the decision. If you feel that what she's showing you is something you cannot afford at that moment, well, okay, we can understand that. But may I suggest that you take something that Dr. Randy suggests. Start. Get rid of that hamburger. Get rid of that beer. Get rid of that bowling game. Whatever it is, put your money into your health. There's no reason. There's no reason to have fire insurance. I'm not going to set my house on fire. But it's there because it's logical. It's a backup for a backup in case, right? And there's really no reason to supplement. There's no reason to take any of these things, but there is. You see, the body is God made it very good. The body will take care of itself if you put the right things in it. But unfortunately, our society does not allow it. The meat industry alone is a good example. The poultry industry. Ladies and gentlemen, chickens do not walk. Chickens are evolving into massive muscles with little tiny legs that cannot support the body. And they literally fall and they suffocate. Every day, a poultry farmer walks into his into the housing that the poultry industry told the farmer to do. There are no windows. These chickens that are born out of eggs have hormones in the egg, have hormones in the food, and they grow to obese sizes where their little legs can't even support them. And every morning they pull out maybe like about a good 50 dead chickens in a very, very dark environment that has no light. I mean, that's a waste of electricity. These are animals, for crying out loud, Make them big, butcher them, and sell them. And fill them with chemicals. We don't care if the people eat it. We care about their money. The food industry is in cahoots with the medical industry, who is in cahoots with the insurance industry. I've been eating garbage all my life, thinking that it was the right thing to do. Then I go to a doctor and he tells me, yeah, you're about what, 65? Yeah, between 60 and 70. Most people get cancer or something like that. Really? It's because of the foods that we eat, ladies and gentlemen. So there is a reason to supplement, because the foods you're eating are lacking what your body needs. Thank you, Dr. Randy, for being with us tonight. God bless you with this product, and I have a feeling you're about to be slammed with a lot of phone calls.
That's great. I love it. I like to be busy. Slow is no good.
God bless you.
Everybody call.
Thank you kindly. We'll have you back again and do another UB2B, okay?
Sounds great. God bless you all. Have a great night.
Bye-bye now.
Bye-bye.
All righty, ladies and gentlemen. How about that, huh? Hold on a second. All this. Hold on. No. No. It says they are connected to the internet. That would be the Fab Four. And by the way, you're welcome. Alrighty. Anyways, yeah, it was a good program. I'm really excited that Dr. Randy is there for us. Take advantage of her. Alrighty. Now, as far as tonight, what I want to say tonight, I'm trying to be very careful about. No. I'm not talking about information about our investment. Everything I say tonight is in my opinion, okay? Okay. But yesterday, on our Monday UB2B, did you learn some stuff? Did you understand the campaign? The word we told you, the key word, was born basically yesterday. Campaign of what? Of the education to do what? To basically support and bring confidence into the Iraqi Dinar currency. That's not a program rate. You understood that last night, didn't you? Did you? Tell me. Did you understand that last night? Let me see. Were there any of you that walked away last night from our UB2B confused? Because I saw thousands, maybe tens of thousands of people that posted in our forum that were extremely pleased with what we shared. They understood it, and it made sense. So far, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people. Yeah, campaign to campaign. I like that, Dinar. Yes, outstanding. All right, so there's a handful of you that... Pat says, no, it was very clear. Well, that's good. Because you know what, Pat? It turns out that this morning when I walked into my forum, I always go in there and I read everything, catch up from the night before. I see this lady. I think this lady works, I think it's a lady. She works, I think, as a surgical nurse. I think she's a scrub nurse, I'm not too sure. But based on her username. And I'm not here to complain nor criticize this individual. But that was the only person. I mean, look at it. You're still saying yes. Yeah, you did understand. Okay. That was the only person. I got Linda saying, it was exciting. I know. I was excited too, Linda. I'm excited about what I may share with you tonight. But anyways, I just felt bad for this individual because they came in last night and they said, well, I don't understand. I'm confused. Oh my goodness gracious. And I'm not angry at them. I want to help them. How is it possible that thousands, tens of thousands of people all said last night and into this morning, great conference call, but I saw just one person. So I've decided that I want to spend like 5 minutes on this one person's question. Even good old Petra, thank you very much. I saw what you did. You came in there. My goodness, sir, you are a class act. You are a gentleman. You came in there and you said to this individual, la, 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 la. And this individual said, oh, okay, all right. You helped? Thank you, sir. And I want to help too. Because that question was posed to me in some phone calls that came into me today. I got to thinking, why are you asking me this question? Because you saw this person doing that in my forum? Now the question is as followed. You ready? And that's why I'm spending time with this, because I understand her question. I just don't understand her confusion of where the monetary reform is at right now. Now here's the question. And it's a good question. Frank, you say there's a date? Yes, in my opinion, there's a date, a solid date. And you say it's literally carved into, what is it, titanium, concrete, whatever? I said, yeah, yeah, it's solid. Well, let me ask you another question then. Okay, what? Why did you say, Frank, that all of these entities like the IMF, the World Bank, BIS, the U.S. Treasury, all these people, IMF, why did you say that they're all pointing their fingers at Iraq, at the CBI, and saying, hey, lift the value of your currency? If they have a date. And that's what caused you confusion? Ooh. Well, okay, well, first of all, there is a date, in my opinion. And second of all, look at these entities. They have been working with the CBI for a long time, almost a decade. Yeah, we've been there, 17 years. And about 10 of those years, 8, 9, 10 of those years, the Fab Four has been working with the CBI to lift the value. They recalculate, they got the numbers, they got everything. Do you agree? We agree? Okay, there it is. Now, on this date, you lift the value of your currency, okay? Okay. Now, those same ones that established and allowed the monetary reform to blossom to the level where it's at right now, they know the date. I mean, they're the ones that established and agreed with the date with the CBI, right? The IMF, the United States Treasury, the World Bank, BIS. Okay. And those are the ones that were involved in helping Iraq with the monetary reform, right? Right. Okay. Now, stop and think. These entities that I just mentioned, don't you think they know Iraq very well? How many times have they said they're going to do something, then they don't do it? What do you know? What do you know about the Middle East? They'll argue about anything. If there's a dead person laying there, they'll argue that he's alive. No, they will. It's because of their, not political structure, but their family structure. They're tribal. Look, if you belong to my family, I would take good care of you. If you did not belong to my family, I would think twice about taking good care of you. That's what the Middle East is. If you go back, way back, I told you this before, Alexander the Great, he conquered the Arab nation. He conquered almost, the existing world at that time. But after he conquered them, a few years later, he told the Arab nation, he says, you know what? You guys keep your camels, keep your desert. You're ungovernable. I want nothing to do with you. And he left what he had conquered. The nomads. And that philosophy still exists. The CBI, the IMF, the United States Treasury, all these entities, the Bank of International Settlement, they all know that Iraq has a history of not doing what they're supposed to do on time, on schedule. Therefore, lift the value of your currency the way we agreed upon. Do you understand me? Okay. At least I hope so. Notice what the World Bank said. Look, we're done with you. We're done. Our meetings, we're done with you. And you're a sovereign nation. Everything we did with you causes you to be a sovereign nation. Lift the value of your currency, okay? You understand? That's what's next. You got it? What's really next is the campaign. And then we gave you, right around that same time, the word campaign. Campaign of what? Campaign of the education of the Iraqi dinar. And then yesterday we showed you that, boom, there it is in the articles all over the place. Exactly the words we gave you. So I hope I can put you a little bit at ease by telling you that, yeah, in my opinion, yeah, there's a date. But those that help the CBI reach that date know very well the undisciplined nature of the Middle East, whether it be the government of Iraq, whether it be the central bank of Iraq, whether it be their enemy, Iran, whatever it may be. I told you a long time ago. Oh, there she is. Yes, I'm taking. Oh, there she is. Hi, sweetie. It is a lady.
And she says she is new and she's the one who didn't understand. She's still learning.
Oh, I know it's her. That's why I knew. That's why I said I didn't say exactly who it was, but and I pray to God that I have approached you in the proper manner to help you, not to criticize you and say, "What are you, stupid? What are you complaining about? What's the matter with you?" No, no. One time I said this as an example. What's her name, by the way? We'll just. I don't want to call her Scrub. Okay, Scrub Life. Scrub Life. One time I said that if you were in a boat with me and my wife, or in a boat with my wife and I, and you fell over into the ocean, and my wife fell over into the ocean because a rogue wave came and knocked you both over, trust me, I would reach for my wife faster than you could say 1 second. But yet, within that same 1 second, my other arm would be reaching out to rescue you as well. I don't want you to be left out. I don't want you to be feeling upset. I don't want you to be left confused. I hope I answered your question, and I hope it made sense to you, and you realize that, yeah, Iraq, the Middle East, is extremely undisciplined, extremely argumentative. I'll give you another example that I've used many times. I go up to my friend in Iraq. Hey, Adam, how you doing? I was like, hey, bro, I hear it's your birthday. A birthday to you. All right. I got your present? Yeah, I did. Come here. No, come here. Adam, I know. Come here. Adam Abif, I'd like to show you a brand new car. Huh? This is for you. Happy birthday, huh? And Adam Abif will look at me and he'll look at the card. He'll look at me and he'll look at the card. And he'll look at me and then he'll say, but it's not my favorite color. Are you serious? I just gave you a car for your birthday and you're going to female dog about the color? Yeah, it's in my nature. It's a form of communication. It's a form of bartering. It's a form of tribal nomad genetics. So I believe that it is very good. What about international clients? Who do you call or email? Are they having their own conference call over here?
I don't know where that came from.
But Freedom is a good person. Hold on, let's see what we can do. What about international clients?
Maybe they're talking about Dr.
Who do you call? Or oh yeah, they're far behind. Okay. Anyway, so that's what I wanted to share with you, and I hope I helped many of you, and I hope I showed you the new Frank 26. I don't want to be argumentative. I don't want to hurt nobody's feelings. I wouldn't mind showing Joe Biden a Hawaiian punch. All right, I want to share with you what's happening in Iraq with our friend Eddie. And what's going on, we don't have that much time. It's already 8 o'clock, and I just don't feel like telling you other things. What you need to know is, what you need to do is understand what we shared with you yesterday. Let me take you back to, how about Sunday? What do you think of that? Let me see how far back I can go here. Sunday morning, yes. Yeah, that's the problem. Sunday, Eddie finally got them, and he said, "Mind go do it." What? Oh, I sent him some stuff, and he says he's got it. Okay, Station. We'll be talking to him, and they'll reply. Okay, copy that. Neil, do me a favor and get Eddie to take those files to his friend at the bank and have him study it with him. Yes, Frank, we've already made the appointment with his friend at the bank. Sunday, 3:40. Let's start right here. Sunday, 3:40 p.m. Well, did I say that out loud? I'm sorry. Anyway, he's this guy right there. I don't know if I was supposed to say that. Okay. Sunday, 3:40 p.m. in the afternoon. The Central Bank Iraq, the Central Bank of Iraq, the CBI governor, is on the news, and he's saying that they are doing everything that they can to strengthen the choice for foreign investors and new banks and new technology. Saying meeting today to prove the CBI working hard to get foreign investors in. What for? What for? When they had the Kuwait conference, nobody came in because they weren't under Article 8. Apparently they are. To which I say, now, Eddie, stop and focus. The only way that they can come in is because they are under Article 8. That's the only way, Eddie. Okay? I won't speed this up, so... Somebody wants to know how about ringing ears. Tonight is... Oh my goodness, they're far behind. Just wow, able to get on. Did I miss anything good? No, nothing, Dean, nothing. Anyway, so I said to him, stop and think about it, Eddie. The fact that the CBI governor, and this is the one that I told you to pay attention to, along with Kazemi, both the governor and the prime minister are talking about Article 8 without saying Article 8. Years ago, Eddie, when the Kuwait conference signed hundreds of contracts, but not a single one came in because the country's money could not be protected inside of Iraq's banks under international standards and laws, they didn't come in. But Eddie, it is now a completely different story. Now your country is being sought by the international world because they know what the BIS and the World Bank has told them, let alone what the CBI has sent to them. I don't care. Your country is hot. She's the prettiest girl there is in the world, and everybody wants to take her to the prom. Remember that, Eddie? Frank, Eddie said that the Article 8 thing, he's just not sure about that. And the reason why is because he just found out that Iraq is out of the 2% compliance. He said they are working to get it back. They're working on it getting the street rate under control. And by the way, the street rate is now under control. You'll read about it probably tomorrow or the next day. To which I said, if the banks are out of the 2% compliance, Eddie, they are given a certain amount of time to get back into line. Between me and you, they already did. They already did. Sending thanks. Okay, yesterday, 7:43 a.m. in the morning. Kurds are on television, Mr. Frank, saying that if Baghdad does not implement their part of the budget by the end of this month, Kurds will sue Baghdad, saying budget is for all Iraqis, and saying both parties are very close to agreement on the mechanism to implement the budget. So if Baghdad does not and try to delay, Kurds are going to sue. To which, it's just the end part of it. To which I said, "Wow, that's fantastic. That's fantastic. Talk about pressure on the nice side. Wow, that's fantastic. I haven't even really heard that they were considering that, but I like it because you know what that is, Eddie. You know what that is. It's part of the mechanism. We will sue your behind. If you do not bring out that budget, because they know what the budget has, they know what the white papers have. It's inside the budget. They know that the HCL that they talked about is in the budget with the white papers. But Eddie says it's on red paper, but they see Kurt talking about it. Okay, this could be hot. What does? Never mind. Kurt saying Baghdad better not try and delay this, or they will go to court and get them. Saying the final agreement is so close on the mechanism. Okay, I mean, this is what they told them there. I'm not even sure we have that in the articles. I said, look, guys, the only definition for mechanism is a new exchange rate, in my opinion. Eddie, I want you to go talk to your bank friend and ask him the definition of mechanism that the CBI is constantly using. And he gives me the information, and he says, he hasn't asked them, okay? So, but this is what he responded by saying, they're saying that the final agreement on mechanism is very close. Okay, now get the definition of mechanism. Thank you very much. And he did. And he did. And there it is right here. You see that? And he says, Mr. Frank, in Arabic, mechanism is, it is a meaning for a plan. What's your plan? Like when Kazemi asked the United States for a mechanism for the United States to exit its troops out, he is asking, what's your plan for removal of the troops? So what's the mechanism that stands for? Mechanism is what stands for the plan. Like each reform, the economic and the monetary reform has been broken down in areas. So mechanisms for electricity will be different than the mechanism for interior infrastructure. Mechanism stands for the planning, nothing more or less. It's simply asking for the plan. And we do know that the plan is to raise the value of our currency. To which I say to him, Eddie, everything they have planned, everything that they have agreed upon requires a mechanism of a new exchange rate. That's why you don't have anything day after day, week after week, month after month, year after year. You have nothing until this new mechanism, which is the new exchange rate, is released by the CBI. And that's why I'm excited with what the CBI says, that they have a mechanism. We have a plan for the exchange rate. Remember those words, Eddie? And logic tells me it's to increase it, not to decrease the rate, the way the Iranian terrorists inside of Iraq constantly lie about. Stay strong, Eddie. Stay strong, you guys, and then learn to become even stronger. Yes, sir. Today, by the way, I didn't show you all that. Yeah, but you can trust me, and here's a little bit of it, and okay, whatever. And then we start now today. Let's go with 8:04. Here we go. And what we have is Eddie is in Baghdad, Frank, for a couple of days. He said that he has to go back to Jordan at the end of the week, but he found out when he arrived at Baghdad this morning from his family that the rate in the street markets are falling. I told you. And what did we say yesterday? This is because of the governor of the CBI, Mustafa Galeh. He's the one that says, you're lying, you Iranian terrorists in our country. You're lying. The politicians that are Iranian in parliament are using you guys. You're lying. And it turns out that they were dealt with. I told you this yesterday. And here's the results. You'll read about it soon, what they did with them. No more. You know, it's really hard for Iran to do what they used to do inside of Iraq now. So, yeah, Mr. Frank, we found out that by the end of the week that the rate in the street markets are falling and coming back to where we were a few weeks ago, slowly coming down. This is improving the method, but in place by the CBI, the one that, and I don't want to explain it to you, you read what the CBI did, and you kind of already know. The one that the CBI is working. Eddie says this weekend the Kurds in Baghdad and the Finance Committee and the CBI are all meeting in reference. Remember I told you that they have emergency meetings? This is one of them. The Finance Committee and the CBI are all meeting in reference to the final agreement to implement the budget, calling it a vital meeting. Actually, it's called an emergency meeting, showing all members who are to attend, but just saying it's a key part of the closure on the final agreement. Yeah, yes, it is. So now we continue. Now we go into today again at 9:54 a.m. I tell him, I said, yeah, you guys, the mechanism that the CBI used to counter Iran politicians, Iran's money changers inside of Iraq is working brilliantly. 11:04 in the morning. Frank, the television is saying that the meeting Saturday The meeting Saturday with all the parties of the CBI and the Finance Committee and the Kurds and Baghdad. Look at these. The other one was that I told the one I told you was emergency. That was 3 entities. Look at this. This is 4 entities. These are the emergency meetings I told you that are coming about. Mr. Frank Television is saying that the meeting Saturday with all the parties of the CBI. Think about that. All the parties of the CBI. The Finance Committee, that's Kazemi's people, and the Kurds and Baghdad will include bank leaders and paying off bank debt. Mr. Frank, what is that all about? How can our banks be paying off bank debt? The governor of the CBI is visiting private banks today, and he's encouraging them to speed up the private loan program for citizens. Kazemi is talking about the meeting this Saturday. Well, I told him, I said, look, your country is going international. Your country is exploding into the international world. Now, today I told them they're talking about previous loans that they have received and from all these countries that are pouring into Iraq. And as they come in, they're paying them off. And think about it, Eddie. Isn't it an impressive point that they are now saying that we are willing to pay our debt? Mr. Frank, the news now, when something happens, he quickly lets me know. He says, Frank, the news now is saying agreements have been met to allow funding from the budget to the Kurds take place with it being retroactive to January of this year. Here, let me give you all that he says there. Now, I'm not going to say I told you so. But when he found out this morning on the television what they said, he says, hey, do you think that will be where we all will see a rate now with that being retro to January? Mr. Frank, what do you think? Huh? Bless his little heart. And he says, hey, there's another big joint committee meeting between the Kurds, between Iraq and Kuwait in Baghdad this week. Another emergency meeting. He's just rapid firing what he's seeing because he's all excited. And he says, hey, Frank, oh my gosh, look. What? Look, what? The CBI governor is talking about and praising the international banking sector. What is this, man? What? You know what this is, Eddie. And I explained to him what this is. Yeah, kind of long. Want me to read it to you? All right, let's read this and then we'll say goodbye to each other, okay? All righty. I tell him the following. Oh, she's not going to scroll all the way back. I said, yes, Eddie. Hold on a second. Yes, Eddie. It is highly possible that the new exchange rate is what they are talking about as their mechanism. When they say retro back to January the 1st, and if you remember, these have been my words to you all year, then we believe that they are talking about the new exchange rate. Now, Eddie, as far as Kuwait, they are being welcomed quickly because of the Kuwait conference that occurred 2 years ago that failed. 2 years ago, where things did not work out so well. And that is why Kuwait is now being escorted into Iraq. You ask me, what is this all about? You ask me, what is this all about that the CBI is talking about? I mean, first they're paying off bills. Now they're saying, talking, international? Eddie, you ask me, what is it all about? That the governor of the CBI is talking and welcoming and connecting to international banks around the world. Well, my dear brother, once again, what have I been telling you all year? What has Walking Stick been trying to show you all year? Iraq is Article 8. That's why the international world is pouring in. And you don't necessarily have to have a high exchange rate to be Article 8, but my suspicion and my study with Walking Stick tells me that yes, indeed, a new rate of 1-to-1 that they have been campaigning and talking about at the CBI is coming to a retroactive. Also, pay close attention. Pay close attention to the word that the governor of the CBI is using with you, citizens. He told you yesterday, a campaign of education is now starting. And once again, are those not my exact words? Are those not my exact words to you, my dear friend Eddie? Continuing. Listen, guys. Prepare yourself, Eddie, to be a leader. Do not prepare yourself to be a loser, because Iran is winning the battle against Iran. I'm sorry. Let me read that again. Prepare yourself, Eddie, to be a leader. Do not prepare yourself to be a loser, because Iraq is winning the battle against Iran. He says, okay, sending la 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 la. Tell Eddie that to assign somebody in Baghdad when he returns back from Jordan to listen to everything that Ghaleh Mustafa from the CBI has to say. You will be invited to conferences from the CBI to learn. It will be on your televisions. It will be in your newspapers. It will be on your phones. It will be like an update of everything that the CBI starts to say from now on. Get me this report. Yes, we have our son. Okay, no, and that's enough. It's already pretty late. I gotta go. God bless you. Thank you kindly for being with us tonight. Let me finish by showing you this. If you're a member, you are a member of KTFalways.com, right? You're not. You should be, because then you can go into the final article thread. And you'll see this. This is the 2 new ones that we put up today. Let's see if there's any way that I can just hold this up. Yeah, I think I can do that. Look at that. What's that say, ladies and gentlemen? What does that say? Final article number 1047. This is what Walking Stick and I told you. This is the massive campaign of the Iraqi dinar. Ta-da, once again. And when you... Can you see all that in red? Now, because you're a member of KTFalways.com, you can see this, right? And you can see what we highlighted. The national campaign, says the CBI governor, the national campaign to support the national currency in the economic and increase the citizens' confidence in the Iraqi dinar. That's an echo of yesterday's conference call. Praise God. Yes, says the group of the union and the federations. Oh, hello, Petra and Eminem. We're talking about them. What you guys got to say? The Central Bank of Iraq is launching a national campaign. Domestic, huh? Only for the citizens, right? Mustn't fail with them, right? Okay. But in the same process, it's also telling the international world what they already know. That's why they are coming in. The national campaign under the auspices of the Central Bank of Iraq to raise awareness to support the national currency. It comes to make now you can comes to making transactions carried out in Iraqi dinars. And here you see, think about that. They're paying out people left and right. You just saw Eddie tell you that. You're going to see the articles pretty soon. They're paying out people left and right. Why couldn't they do this in the last 17 years? They're only using their currency. They already got rid of the American dollar in their auctions. That's Article 8. Countries are pouring in. That's Article 8. They wouldn't come in 2 years ago into the Kuwait conference. They know now that their money is protected. Their equipment, their employees, everything is protected under Article 8. Anyways, this transaction is carried out by the Iraqi, carried out for the Iraqi dinar, and here we mean that all transactions in the markets are in our national currency. Remember the word sovereign? in our national currency, and this enhances confidence among the citizens. And the currency and the citizens who need the dollar has to go to the official outlets to get it at the official price, and thus it is possible to reduce speculation in this aspect. Basically, what they're saying is that quote, the completion of all transactions in the local markets in the national currency is very important to be accomplished by monetary policies that preserve the value of the currency. Visa, that means also and/or other international currencies. Y'all come on in now. We'll take care of your foreign currency. Come on to the CBI. You got to convert it into our currency because that's all we use now in Iraq. Come on in. We got you covered, says the CBI. Yeah. And then the other article that we put out today is this one right here. Final article number 1048. And we told you so. And what did we tell you that there would be a retroactive to January the 1st of 2021. There it is. And for all the other gurus that laughed at me, it's okay, because every morning when I shave, I laugh my head off too. There's a funny person on that mirror. Cracks me up. I hope you learned something tonight. I hope we motivated you and helped you. Take everything to God in prayer. Okay? Y'all take care of each other. I'll see you soon. I don't know exactly when, but we'll see each other again. I mean, obviously, we aim for next Monday. But right now, it's like walking on very, very thin ice on the ocean surface. Every step that we take is so fragile and so potential for us to break right through that. Raise the value of your currency, CBI, because it's been agreed upon by the Fab Four. And the Fab Four know you very well. And so do I. God bless you. Thank you for being with us. Aloha.